Florentino Pérez, the president who transformed Real Madrid. But are his criticisms of refereeing going too far? Discover the backstage of the controversies and the power he exerts in football.
Desde el Real Madrid acogemos con enorme satisfacción la decisión que ha adoptado el Tribunal de Justicia de la Unión Europea, que es el encargado de garantizar nuestros principios, valores y libertades.
Florentino Pérez is undoubtedly one of the most influential and successful leaders in football history. His management of Real Madrid reshaped the club in terms of structure, ambition, and sporting success. From his first term as president, he implemented a management model that transformed Real Madrid into the global powerhouse it is today. But how did Florentino's career start? What were his key achievements and signings that marked his legacy? Let's revisit the journey of the man who elevated Real Madrid to the pinnacle of world football. Career beginnings and entry into Real Madrid. Florentino Pérez was born on March 8, 1947, in Madrid, and built his career as an engineer and entrepreneur before entering the world of football. A civil engineering graduate from the Polytechnic University of Madrid, he made a name for himself in the infrastructure and construction sector as president of the ACS Group, one of Spain's largest companies. His first attempt to become president of Real Madrid came in 1995, but he lost to Ramon Mendoza. However, he didn't give up. In 2000, Florentino returned stronger, promising to modernize the club and sign Luis Figo, the star of Barcelona at the time. His campaign was a success, and he won the election to take charge of Real Madrid. First Florentino era. The Galactico era. As soon as he took office, Florentino implemented his Galacticos policy, which involved signing the biggest football stars in the world. The strategy was simple: bring in high-profile, talented players to boost both sporting performance and the club's commercial revenue. The major signings of this first era were Luis Figo, one of the biggest coups in history, taking the star from Barcelona for 60 million euros. Zinedine Zidane, signed from Juventus for 77 million euros, scoring the winning goal in the 2002 Champions League final.
Hooked into the penalty area towards Zidane! Fantastic! Real Madrid!
Ronaldo Fenomeno came after shining in the World Cup from Inter Milan for 45 million euros. David Beckham, global football and marketing icon, from Manchester United for 37 million euros. With these signings, Real Madrid became an entertainment and revenue machine. However, despite the commercial success, the lack of balance in the squad led to a decline in sporting performance, culminating in Florentino's resignation in 2006. Titles in the first term: 2x La Liga, 1x Champions League, 2x Supercopa de España, 1x UEFA Super Cup, 1x Intercontinental Cup. Second Florentino era. The Super Real Madrid. Florentino returned to the presidency in 2009 after a crisis at the club. He abandoned the Galacticos idea and focused on building a more balanced team, while still investing in big signings and young talent. His return started with an impact. Cristiano Ronaldo, 94 million euros. Kaká, 67 million euro. Karim Benzema, 35 million euros. Xabi Alonso, 30 million euros. With this team, Real Madrid regained dominance in world football. Under the guidance of Carlo Ancelotti and later Zinedine Zidane, the club won 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years, an unprecedented feat in the modern era. Key signings of the second era: Gareth Bale, 101 million euro. James Rodriguez, 75 million euro. Toni Kroos, 25 million euro. Luka Modric, 30 million euros. Vinicius Jr., 45 million euros. Rodrigo, 45 million euro. Jude Bellingham, 103 million euro. Titles in the second term: 7x Champions League, 6x La Liga, 2x Copa del Rey, 7x FIFA Club World Cup, 5x UEFA Super Cup, 6x Supercopa de España. Florentino Pérez, the greatest president in Real Madrid's history? With 6 Champions League titles won as president, Florentino Pérez has elevated Real Madrid to another level. He revolutionized the club's structure, modernized the Santiago Bernabeu, and ensured that Real Madrid stayed on top of world football, even in times of change in the sport. His critics point out that he often acts coldly, dismissing legends like Casillas, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Sergio Ramos without hesitation. However, it is undeniable that his management has been an absolute success. Today, with a young squad led by Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Bellingham, and future stars, Real Madrid remains firmly at the forefront of global football. And all of this passes through the hands of Florentino Pérez, the man who shaped the club in the modern era. Super League. The proposal for the European Super League, led by Florentino Pérez, president of Real Madrid, sparked intense debate in the football world, placing him in direct confrontation with UEFA and its president, Alexander Ceferin. Florentino Pérez defends the creation of the Super League as an essential measure to save football, arguing that the sport needs to adapt to new realities and that the current competition does not meet the needs of elite clubs. In contrast, Alexander Ceferin harshly criticized the initiative, calling it a threat to the European sporting model. In a speech at the 48th Ordinary Congress of UEFA, Ceferin compared the Super League to Snow White's poisoned apple, suggesting that while it might seem attractive, it is harmful and driven by selfish interests. Ceferin also mocked the persistence of some clubs in promoting the Super League, stating that with the withdrawal of most of the initial participants, only 2 or 3 clubs would remain interested, resulting in a fantastic competition with 2 clubs. Florentino Pérez's influence on European football is undeniable, given his role at the helm of one of the world's most prestigious clubs. However, his insistence on creating the Super League has caused significant divisions among major football leaders and institutions, reflecting different visions for the future and governance of the sport in Europe. The European Super League proposal, announced in April 2021, aimed to create an exclusive competition among the top clubs on the continent, sparking intense debates about the future of European football. 12 elite clubs were announced as founders of the Super League. England: Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Tottenham Hotspur. Spain: Atletico de Madrid, Barcelona, and Real Madrid. Italy: AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Juventus. However, the negative reaction from fans, sports entities, and governments led to the rapid withdrawal of many of these clubs. Within days, 9 of the 12 founders officially pulled out of the project. Evolution and reformulation of the proposal. Despite the initial setback, the remaining clubs continued to defend the creation of the Super League. In December 2024, A22 Sports, the company behind the project, presented a new proposal called Liga Unify. This revised format envisions the participation of 96 clubs, divided into 4 divisions: Star, Gold, Blue, and Union. The first 2 would have 16 teams each, while the other divisions would each house 32 teams. The competition would include home and away matches, with promotions and relegations between the divisions, aiming for greater inclusion and competitiveness. The relationship with football's regulatory bodies has been tense. In December 2023, the European Court of Justice ruled that FIFA and UEFA's rules, which require prior approval for competitions like the Super League, were contrary to European Union law. This decision provided legal support for the Super League organizers to proceed with their plans. Site-turn 0 search 0 in response. UEFA restructured the Champions League for the 2024-25 season, expanding the number of teams from 32 to 36 and adopting a league format instead of groups, in an attempt to make the competition more attractive and competitive. As of February 2025, the Super League project, now Liga Unify, continues to develop, with plans to launch in the 2025-26 season. However, significant challenges remain, including the need for approval from regulatory bodies, club participation, and the creation of adequate broadcasting infrastructure. The opposition from national leagues and part of the football community also represents a considerable obstacle to the implementation of the competition. Controversy with Spanish referees. Recently, Florentino Pérez, president of Real Madrid, has expressed dissatisfaction with Spanish refereeing decisions, particularly after matches where the club felt wronged. In a draw against Osasuna, Coach Carlo Ancelotti voiced frustration with specific decisions, including the red card for Jude Bellingham and a controversial penalty awarded to the opponent. In response to the recurring controversies, Real Madrid officially filed a complaint with the Spanish Football Federation, emphasizing that the Spanish refereeing system is structurally defective and designed to self-protect. Additionally, Florentino Pérez suggested the importation of English referees to La Liga, arguing that this could elevate the standard of refereeing in the Spanish league. Real Madrid TV, the club's official channel, has also played an active role, criticizing refereeing decisions and pressing for greater transparency and improvements in the Spanish refereeing system. These actions reflect the growing tension between Real Madrid and the Spanish football authorities, with the club seeking significant reforms in refereeing to ensure greater fairness and transparency in competitions. Florentino Pérez is undoubtedly one of the most successful football executives in history. Under his leadership, Real Madrid has further consolidated itself as the greatest power in the sport, winning numerous titles and dominating the European scene. His ability to innovate, financial management, and ambition to assemble historic squads have made him a respected figure in global football. The era of the Galacticos, surgical signings, and ongoing success in the Champions League are unquestionable legacies of his presidency. However, his relationship with Spanish refereeing generates controversy. The pressure exerted by Real Madrid, particularly through Real Madrid TV, questioning decisions and suggesting structural changes, could be seen as an attempt to directly influence Spanish football. The recent suggestion to import English referees, for example, raises a debate about devaluing Spanish professionals who already work under immense pressure. Moreover, even if refereeing mistakes occur, no club has the right to take justice into its own hands, as this would compromise the impartiality of the sport. Another controversial point is that Real Madrid has historically benefited from questionable decisions in its favor. Many critics argue that the club has been one of the most assisted by refereeing in Spain, particularly in decisive moments of La Liga. Therefore, Perez's stance and the board's position could sound contradictory, as when decisions favor them, the same indignation is not expressed. Florentino Pérez is a brilliant manager, but his actions regarding refereeing generate a legitimate debate about the limits of a club's power and how far its influence can affect the balance and transparency of Spanish football.